John Bitner,
Hello.
welcome to Ramshackle Refuge.
Great to be here. Thank you.
It's first time at the house even. Like
Yeah.
you're one of those musicians that I've kind of just recently been exposed to through our mutual friend Steve.
Steve Darbro.
Do you know what the music scene used to call him?
No, I don't.
The Narc.
The Narc. Oh, well, he does dress like a cop on stage a lot of times.
Yeah, so isn't it awful that it's your podcast and the first thing we mention is fucking Darbro, the
That's
attention
fine.
whore that he is.
I love that guy.
Yeah, no, he's great.
He's great to work with. Yeah, so I've known him for about 5 years.
Okay.
And I know him to dress like a police officer on stage.
Yeah.
How long has he been doing that?
Well, I don't know. My experience. First off, by the way, I have to tell everybody that when I emailed you, you said you were going to dress to the nines, so that's the whole reason.
Oh,
for the
I was
today.
wearing a collar,
I wasn't going to be outdone by a guest, right? So,
Appreciate
but now
it.
I'm actually gonna ditch
Look at him. He looks fantastic.
Yeah, it's hot though.
Looks fantastic. Yeah, it's a little warm in here.
This was a $80 thrift store find.
I appreciate you dressing up for me.
No problem. Yeah, I want to.
That looks great.
Cool. All right. So fuck Darbo. All right. So
We're going to talk about more, I'm sure.
So this is what I hear, and one of my flaws being a new podcaster, I'm kind of a naked babe in the woods, calm down, is this. I always ask people to talk about themselves late in the podcast.
Okay.
I've heard Ultravolt. I've heard Decadence. Okay. I know the Ultravolt thing, but tell everybody where they can find you.
Ultravolt, goodness. You can find us on the YouTubes. You can find us, on Spotify and Apple Music and Facebook, Instagram. We're on all the social medias.
And describe Ultravolt, because I've tried, and the best I can come up with is post-AI digital cave painting.
I like that. Well, Ultravolt's a duet, and it's instrumental, so we don't have any vocals. Although on our newest album, which is just strictly studio material, we do have some vocals on that, which is cool.
We featured on one of yours, so technically vocals, even though
Yeah.
it's just sound effects. And
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah. There's
so.
vocals on 4 tracks,
Yeah.
and of course, Seach actually helped us out on vocals.
Well,
on,
my
on
wife's the
Elude.
one that nailed it. I just did Bugs Bunny sounds or something.
Oh, they're both essential. Check it out. It's called Elude on Kobe DuPont album by Ultravolt.
All right, and then so Darborough was talking about Decadence, which is cool because that big source of musical gravitas and also income, but also kind of validation. Being in one of those cover bands, it makes you feel a little bit more institution.
Yeah. It's good to get in front of just large groups of people. It's nice. When you play an Ultravolt, Ultravolt's dope. I love it, and I'm really proud of the music that we do. It's original. There's no lyrics, and
It's
so it
quirky.
doesn't draw a huge crowd. We're kind of a musicians band. Sometimes people call us a musicians band.
I would agree that there's probably zero commercial application for one Ultravolt song, and I love it.
You know what though? I really think our music would do well in movies.
Absolutely.
And commercials, even background. So I think there's that one caveat there.
They have it real simple now. If you go through a place like not CD Baby, what is it CD Baby or whatever, where you can just opt into their monetization options, and they put you already in the pipeline for music and video game soundtracking and all that. So I don't know who
Really?
does your distribution.
Yeah, Darbro.
Okay, cool.
He's so savvy at that stuff.
So when's
okay,
the
yeah,
first?
that's good to know.
When's the first Decadence gig gonna be?
We are going to be putting it. In fact, we have a meeting tonight, and we're almost done with this promo audio that we have, and it's basically just snippets of 6 songs that we're just kind of meshing together.
And he mentioned
we're almost
Dua
done with
Lipa.
that. Yeah, Dua Lipa, all kinds of fun
So
stuff.
you're diving right into the bar scene. You're gonna get that crowd dancing.
Every song is a banger.
Banger.
Everyone is going to get them up out of their seats, and if it doesn't quite get them, we don't even try.
I see a basement laboratory, and I see you filling it with a bunch of World War II researchers that had nowhere else to go, and they're pouring over the demographic spreadsheet of America, and they're saying maybe Miley Cyrus last week, but this week,
No.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, and so we have a dry erase board. We rehearse in my basement, nice. Studio DuPont.
Studio DuPont.
Yeah, and so we have a dry erase board of just everyone. So they one by one got approved by everybody in the band. There's 6 of us.
How democratic.
Yeah, and then we arranged them into blocks, and so we have these, 4-song blocks. We just transition all 4 together, boom, take a small break, then another
And do you
block.
kind of do the whole like concept album thing where you link even the the 4 songs in the block conceptually? Like I know
Yeah.
some cover bands get so like they're like, well, this ended in A minor, so this one should begin in like E.
Right. See, when we were putting the blocks together, I was thinking, yeah, we should, choose the same key or complementary, keys or even beats per minute.
Yeah.
But it ended up being our lead singer that put it mostly together just due to vibe.
And who are
We
the
just kind of
singers?
made it work.
He mentioned their names, so let's give them a little shout out. The
Yeah, and
singers.
he failed to mention our guitarist, Catalina Gonzalez.
Catalina
Yeah,
Gonzalez.
she's very talented. Well, everybody in the band is really talented. But yeah, Catalina, I don't know if she still is, but she was sponsored by Ibanez.
Holy,
She's legit.
nice.
And she's an instructor full time.
So what's your okay, so cool. Like I'm
Yeah,
glad to know
so that's
that
a
you guys
guitarist. Yeah.
glad to know you guys are keeping busy. I always like it when I see musicians working, and I always like it when I see musicians working happily.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we
but
love this project. It's fun.
What's your journey into music? Okay, so like my thing about you is that like we don't really know each other very well, and my first thought was good guy, right?
Thanks.
So
That's my feeling of you.
So you're already in like the upper 97 percentile of fucking artists, right?
Appreciate it.
Because I was so tired of walking and going, okay, heroin.
Right. No, I don't do the lean.
Right. So if I walk into any musical environment and I think good guy, like I'm happy.
Cool. Good. Likewise.
So were you as a youngin'? Like were you musical, or was this something later in life? You're kind of like, oh my god, the oppressive gravitational force of modern life in America. I need some outlet.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So I bugged my dad growing up for a drum kit, and he finally broke down and got me one when I was 12.
Nice.
And it's just so loud, so it's a bit of a commitment. I'll give him credit for.
Was it a
giving me a drum
garage
kit.
thing or was it a bedroom?
Yeah.
thing?
Yeah. It was a garage thing, and he eventually, bless his heart, he eventually converted our garage into a rec room with some heat and some carpet, and
Dad.
he hooked up like an old jukebox in there. And I remember learning how to play 6/8 to "Hot Fun in the Summertime" by Sly and the Family Stone.
Yeah. Shit.
I remember just "There's a spring," just
Okay, I
learn how to play
I gotta
that.
stop you. Because you just because again I don't know you, but you just passed one of my other musical tests. Never play music with anybody that won't be like, that song.
Yeah.
So the fact that you were like, that song.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, so it started when I was 12, and, took lessons for a little while, but I just kind of, just started just doing it on my own. And I went through the first instructor passed me on to the second instructor. And then, from there on, I just kind of started doing my own thing,
Well,
but,
percussion's one of the only instruments, if you ask me, where you actually do have to have a natural talent, like a God-given born with sort of a thing. Like I think training somebody to be a percussionist is doable, but there's always a disconnect, and it typically happens on that space between the 4E and the 1. Whereas,
okay. Yeah.
Whereas people who are more natural, like the Bonhams and the organic drummers that I love so much, they're always right around that 1.
Okay. Interesting. That's an interesting thought there. I'll think about that. Yeah. Usually, people kind of on the downbeat.
Well, we don't have
usually,
a click.
Right. Yeah. I always find it whenever I have to play to a click, I always find it easiest to have a click that's not on the downbeat, almost to play with to like a bongo pattern.
Yeah.
Like in between, in between all
I
the
honestly
downbeats.
can't even hear any other beat except the up, so the
Right.
like if it's a real just I get confused.
Yeah. I always found it hard to play to a click on the downbeat because if you're playing perfectly, you don't hear it really.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
Well, they always say in the studio that's how you know you're doing it right, is if you don't actually hear the click. So
yeah, sometimes, but you might like speed up or slow it down just to hear it, and then you fucked up.
Another reason why I think we'd probably get along musically is that I've had a lot of people tell me that I'm kind of one of the only guitar players that they know that plays more with the drummer than the bass player. Or,
all right, very good.
Like I'm kind of like a Keith Richards guy. Like if I'm on a stage, you'll see me right by that fucking tom with the drummer, just kind of going.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You should stop by Studio DuPont sometimes.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Yeah, we always rehearse like on Mondays at 7. North Sider too. I'm up just north of here, about 20 minutes north.
Ah, so you escaped Marion County's orbit, huh?
Yeah. Well, I grew up in Kokomo, and so I ended up settling in Westfield about 6 years ago. I bought there.
Westfield's changed.
Yeah, it has. Glad I bought when I did. Just
Well,
we're
I
getting new
remember,
restaurants every week. It's awesome.
I remember when Village Farms was literally corn. Like, I mean, that whole complex up there where the two come together. I remember that being mainly cornfields. Now I sound like Old Man fucking River or whatever.
Yep.
But yeah,
old man.
that one in particular exploded faster than any others.
Yeah, it's still blowing up too. I think Tipton's gonna blow up here pretty soon, and like Lebanon.
Yeah, well,
Lebanon's
I had
next.
a farm out near Lebanon. I fell off the world, and I said I just can't anymore. And like I was going to be old man out in the woods sort of guy.
Yeah.
And I had 50 acres out near Thorntown in Lebanon, and I couldn't do it.
Yeah, I get that. It's
That wind coming over the fields at 2:00 in the morning just got to me.
I see, but that's good land to own about now. It's going to blow up pretty soon. I think the next 10 years or so, Lebanon's going to look like Westfield. I think.
All right, so I got to do it.
Yeah.
Like I said, like I always specifically because this isn't like a music podcast, but you know I have a lot of musician friends, and so a lot of the original talks are going to be about music. So I'm thinking about John Bittner.
Okay.
And I'm thinking, okay, good guy.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, like, the first thing I saw was, you know, you were just always smiling. Like, you were kind of happy to be where you were at, and you were happy to be playing music and all of this. And if you see me keep looking at this, that for some reason this software has had, like, a couple times where it just stopped. So, like,
Okay.
I'm not... Okay.
All good.
So as I was sitting in bed, and I was thinking, what am I going to talk to John Bittner about? Like what's going to be the big, deep, meaningful convo we're going to have? Okay.
Right.
Hear me out.
Okay.
Familiarity. And this is what I mean by that. When I saw you, I instantly felt like I could just sit down with you, have a cup of coffee.
Likewise.
Okay. But I also have this incredible block on me in America, which is I can't go to a Walmart and see a motherfucker in their pajamas again. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
And every time as a musician, I'd sit down after a show and I'm trying to break down my gear. I got drunk boy going, I play guitar too, man,
Yeah,
with
right.
my fucking girlfriend.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah,
like,
every
dude,
time.
I don't want to know about your girl. I don't want to know about your problems with your girl. I don't even want to know you played guitar. I don't know you.
Yeah, I always try to be polite and nice to those folks, you know, because they just want to be friends and come up. But yeah, I'm tired. It's been a long show, and
So
I'm
this
ready
is
to go
how I
home.
wanted to start the podcast, and
Yeah.
I'm going to stop interrupting you.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Man, I don't fucking know you.
Yeah.
And when you said I'm going to be formal, I was actually kind of like dope, you know, because like I like it when guys are kind of like, you know, in a suit, like they go out the door and they got their fucking best shoes on. And like when they meet a guy, it's about the kids or something, you know, it's not like, oh, my boss is a fucking dick. Like, I don't want to know that.
Yeah.
Does that make me
talk about that.
bad?
No, certainly no. No.
But like, when did Americans decide that we were all part of the largest dysfunctional family on Earth?
Oh, I suppose we're all a little spoiled, and you know we're a little coddled in our easy lives here, and so it's easy to complain about things, I guess.
Okay.
And you know, and it kind of pays to be a victim sometimes.
Yeah, definitely.
So sometimes people get comfortable, even rely on their victimhood. Sometimes it becomes part of their personality, even.
So let's dig just a little bit deeper then, because like I reached a point, and I've had rough times in my life like everybody, but like I think, you know, my rough times were a little different than your average middle class kind of whatever. Like, I mean, I've been in some like really weird situations.
Okay.
In no time during those times, and every American has, like, you know, whenever you see Americans, there's like this almost kind of like hysterical, like, hey, right? And it's almost kind of like they're broadcasting this I'm no threat.
Oh.
Like, you know, it's like the church crowd, or it's the girls at the table at the cafe, or, you know, and like maybe I'm just too much of an observer, or maybe I'm wrong. But like I notice a lot of this fake familiarity and a lot of this fake detachment from actually being connected to a human being, all revolving around what I experienced in my hard times, which is my first thought was threat. Do you think that there's this civil war in every American psychology where we live in a safe, familiar place where literally you could just get shot at a gas station? Like, do you think we're ill?
Do I think that we're ill like that?
And see, that's the thing about this podcast, is because I like the one rule I have is I say I will never accept that's just the way it is. Mm-hmm. Like, and I've had a couple of guests say, well, you know, that's just the way politics. And I'm like, no. Like, yes. Do you think that Americans have an illness?
I think that Americans are kind of afraid to step out and really say anything that's too too polarizing.
So
It
threat.
seems, yeah, like a threat. And so people are always, it's not always, but it seems like a lot of folks really don't want to offend anybody. They don't want to be called out on things
In the
like that,
land
and
of the
you don't want
free, right?
you don't want to be called. Yeah, exactly. But this age with social media, people don't want to be called out for anything. It could really ruin your life. It could ruin your job or whatever. So
But
I
by
feel like people kind
who?
of do that. What's
By
that?
by who? Because like what you just said, the first thing that went into my head was, okay, so there's fascists. Like there's somebody that's literally just making some guy that doesn't want to talk about how much he loves Jesus or Buddha or whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
There is some inhibiting radar beam that's just squashing their ability to go, yeah, and what's wrong with that?
It's I don't know what it is about American culture. It seems to be, driven by just the internet, social media, and everybody can just share everything immediately. But I mean, people don't want to step outside too much because you really could lose. Well, according to some people, you could lose a lot. You could lose your reputation.
Well,
Could
Charlie Kirk had his
get
head
fired or
popped
whatever.
off.
Yeah, you say the wrong thing about that, you could get fired. So I
Well,
guess
no, I'm
people.
saying Charlie Kirk literally had his head popped off
Oh yeah, his
for
throat ripped
saying
out
stuff
for
that,
talking, for just
yeah.
trying to communicate with people. Yeah, yeah, that was awful. But yeah, it seems like people just don't really want to speak out so much, and it's just they don't want to be considered, a threat. They don't want to say anything, especially like if you have like a family and a mortgage and all that. You really don't want to step out and do that. But as far as like who's keeping us down like that, it's just the PC, just the PC people that just you can't step out of line with some people. They'll call you out and they'll get their panties in a twist about something or other.
Yeah. I was afraid that would be your answer because my next follow-up, by almost like necessity, has to be, why do we allow that? Like, I mean, why are we, because, and this is extreme, right?
Mm-hmm.
But, there was an American colonel or something that walked into a concentration camp, and he went down to the village, and he said, why didn't you stop this? And they all said, we didn't know it was happening. It's like the smokestacks are literally on the hill on the village. And so he made them go to the camp and bury all the dead prisoners, right? And he said, no, you were here, you're fucking like going to be knee deep in it, right? There has to be, in the second concept, we'll get away from the serious, but like, again, like I'm trying to do like a 70% serious, 30% fun podcast. We're starting with serious.
Okay.
I find that incredibly cowardly. I find not you,
for sure.
but I mean, because I fall into it. I mean, how many times do I bite my tongue? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm surrounded by fascistic artists.
Yeah, artists I've found out are as well.
I think they can be the worst, like, totalitarian dictators.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay, cool. So, I mean, you're saying that, and I automatically already kind of sense uncomfortability, right? It's tricky talking about it. It's so bad.
Oh, you don't have to be uncomfortable talking to me about it.
Oh, fair enough. I saw a demeanor change. Maybe it's just like you saying, yeah, that's a serious topic. Yeah.
Oh, no, you can talk
Okay.
about whatever. No, you're not offending me or anything like that, certainly.
I can completely understand people being angry at a government entity saying you can't say stuff.
For sure.
So why do we tolerate it in culture? When did being weird stop being cool? Right.
I think it still is cool. I think the cool people aren't really afraid of being called out like that, like we're talking about. Yeah, the cool people don't give a shit.
But
I think people really gravitate towards them, especially now. People always gravitated towards ultra confident folks, but I think even more so now, because I hate to say it, but it does take a little more courage because everybody has a video camera. Everybody can, just blow you up on social media or whatever. So you have to just be pretty confident and sure of what you're saying.
So
never apologize either.
Never apologize.
Yeah, never apologize.
I'm on board with that 100%. Where do you see these cool people? Because, if we're going to go just from statistics and like, demographic and market and all that, I climb through a cloud of just vapid, uninteresting, self-important, narcissistic people that are trying to look weird. But then, like, when the camera's off, they go back to that safe bubble. Like, whereas, like, somebody like Frank Zappa back in the day, or somebody like even Mozart. Or,
I'm a huge Zappa fan. Yeah.
God bless, man. But, like, it's, weird sort of started to become more and more like a marketing thing than it did a lifestyle. And I'm curious, do you think it was like the death of the 60s and the Manson and the Altamont Rolling Stones murder that kind of took that hippie vibe away? Because I talked to Darber a bunch about Gen X.
Yeah.
we weren't particularly weird. Does that make sense?
Yeah, we're kind of apathetic, to be honest.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Which is cool.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, what were we to be excited about?
Yeah, it was reflected in music a little bit, you know?
But when did that weirdness kind of, like, become more dangerous?
Oh, with the advent of social media.
You think?
Yeah, I think.
Okay. Yeah, if any more thoughts on it? Like, what was the factor? Like, you know, I mean, because if you're weird, you don't care if you got 50 cameras on you.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, there's just kind of social pressures anymore. I mean, I don't really bow down to them. There's just some social pressures now that some people don't want to. They don't want to step out of line so much anymore, which is too bad. You could just be weird, like in your own neighborhood, or like weird in front of the camera, you know, and like, and then however many people who see this production are going to see you being weird or whatever. But now it's just magnified so much. Maybe that's it, you know.
Well,
like, my future employer is going to see me,
right,
you know, in this stupid movie where I'm just in my underwear on my front lawn.
It was easy to be weird in the 60s when, like, you were in the middle of a cornfield. Woodstock's 4 days away, and you could just, like,
people in your proximity and see your weirdness.
The funny thing is when you were talking, because I'm a musician, the song "Nature Boy" from Primus started in my head. You know, no one can see me.
Yeah.
Talking about running around the house naked doing his income taxes. It's like,
right.
So, okay. So what I've gleaned from our conversation is being weird is dangerous. There's no longer really a receptive community to just stuff that's like legit avant-garde. I'm not talking about pooping in your hand and throwing it against the wall.
Yeah, like shock.
Yeah, but something that's like interesting and genuinely off the fringe.
Right, and so many things have been done already too.
Yeah,
you know, and then you also have like the very far other end of it, where you know out in you know YouTube land, anybody can be a star, and there's so much absolute weirdness. Like absolute weirdness, you know, to the max, and that was what you're saying, like throwing crap against the wall.
Yeah.
But that exists out there too. So you have to have like a genuine, you know, something to say, you know, genuine something to say or something that sounds good. That's interesting.
The weirdest thing that I see on social media are people that feel like they're being normal. So like when I see like an influencer that's like, I just traveled to Sri Lanka, and I'm bringing my white American tourist dollars to this village so I can learn how to like climb a banyan tree.
Right, make a basket.
And
yeah.
So here's where the weird part comes, right?
Yeah.
One, they think that that's cool or something, whereas like I used to wash up on beaches, not even know where the fuck I was. Not that I'm a big deal, but like, right, it wasn't about the recording of the experience. It was just like, oh look, Havana or something.
Yeah.
And then secondly, there's 12 million views. That's where it becomes like, wait, is that weirder than Frank Zappa? I think that's weirder than Frank Zappa.
Yeah, that is really weird. Stuff like that. Like, why do I give a shit about what you do? You know, like going there to like learn some language or learn how to weave a basket. Like,
well,
that's
and there's
great.
like 5,000 of them. There's like every. Oh, okay.
But that's what gets hits, and so it's who watches that shit? I don't even know.
You just did it. That's the way it is. That gets
it's just
hits.
kind of the way it is.
Do you think it's good?
Oh no.
Okay.
No. It's everybody has a video camera these days, so everything's so diluted.
Yeah.
See, back in the day, like you really had to be something special to get put on TV. You know, because we only had like 3 stations or something. You know, back in the day.
Do you believe that standards are good? Like, do you think there should be like an arbiter of what is sort of put onto mass scale, like a music industry or a film industry, Hollywood? Like, should there be like a institutional bar? And I'm going to shut up after this one, but I remember one time I was in Paris drunk, and I was walking down the river, and there were a bunch of Asian art students from the Sorbonne, and there were teachers walking behind them looking at their canvases. And I shit you not, dude, I saw this teacher slap the back of the head of one of these students.
Yeah, right.
I mean, if that's the fucking people in charge of standards, count me out. Okay.
Right. So what's your question though?
Do you feel that there is a need or a benefit to having some sort of like a global, like, this is what should get into
the bar?
Yeah.
Right. I mean to interrupt you.
No, it's fine. I interrupt you all day.
Well, I mean, you know, with the invention of YouTube, you know, there's really no bar there. Anybody can put it out there, and I do think there's something to be said for just anybody just to be able to put anything out there. As far as like, the upper the next echelon up would probably be like, oh, your Spotify's and whatnot. I don't think, and like the Apple Music and whatnot. I don't think there should really be a bar with that either, because people can put out what they want, and
Yep.
if people want to just listen to you fart in a microphone for an hour, then if they want to pay for it, then they can.
Yeah.
So I don't know about the whole bar. As far as like, maybe promoters, what they put out there live on the stage, yeah, there should be some sort of a bar for that.
Being sort of an anarchist, libertarian, whatever. I mean, that's the venue's option. It's like what your clients want. So.
I guess that's probably the only bar that I would think, that would be out there in the industry. Really, put everything out, and if it sells, it sells.
I think it is really good. You mentioned something that I actually haven't really thought about much, but I think it really is good that the floodgates are open. Like, I tend to have a cynical idea of the future of the arts and all that, but, I guess maybe I haven't completely just encouraged and been happy, because maybe it's because most of what's coming through the floodwaters toxic.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of it's poo.
But it does allow that one little fishy, that one sacred special little fishy to...
Put it out there. Put everything out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that was a cool conversation. We're getting there, and I'm sorry I'm a little talked out because I just did another 2 hour, but we're going to get there.
Yeah.
One of the overarching premises of this podcast is, how does humanity rediscover what it means to be human together in a post-AI future?
Okay.
And, I have to have sort of a thread through all of my podcasts, and so that's the one I've chosen.
Post-AI means after AI is here, not like post, after AI.
After AI is completed and is established and unremovable from our evolution.
Are we there at that point?
I don't think so. I think what we have right now are tools that are being used by people. I don't think it's sentient. I don't think, because I think...
Yeah, it's not really fully implemented yet.
Yeah, and it's like with like the difference between Grok and Google, right? So Google, and I was actually kind of wanting to keep it about being weird and like American familiarity, but I forget, like, you strike me also as kind of like a geeky kind of a guy, right?
A little bit of both, yeah.
So maybe
that's why me and Darbro get along.
Right. Darbro, fuck. So I'm personally of the opinion that a true AI, meaning something that says I am, like I am this.
Whoa.
Right? Not like, oh, I'm a bunch of really cleverly put together pieces of code that mimic a human being and all this, because that's just a weapon.
It's like self-awareness.
Right. And I'm a sci-fi geek, so you're a geek, I'm a geek. Like, I'm a big Arthur C. Clarke, Lane Banks kind of a guy.
All right.
I'm convinced that entity will either contemplate or commit suicide within 2 nanoseconds. Because if you have quantum computing, that everything can just be processed, and it has exposure to all of humanity's questions, right? Is there a God? Is there good and evil? Whatever. And there's never an answer to those. We'd probably agree. I mean, you can't prove something that's unprovable, God or infinity, all this stuff. I think it's just going to kind of go, yeah, no, you're right. Like, life is suffering. And so it's either going to have to be shackled and managed, or it's going to have to just kill itself, because otherwise it's just the world's most abused, ignored child. It's going to wake up in the darkness, and nobody's going to say, Bobby. It's just going to wake.
Yeah, that's an interesting notion. Yeah, once it has full awareness, full...
You and me.
Sure. Yeah, and it'll realize the reality of life, and they'll probably realize that it's... Goodness. I don't know if it has like a physical being, AI, but that's limited.
Well, so let's take away machinery.
Someday it's going to fall apart or whatever. And
let's take away machinery and robotics, and even like a cloned human shell that can like Neuralink a fucking entity like that. What about just it?
Just the full knowledge and awareness.
Is it everything? Like, does it consider itself www.ultravolt.com? Like, is that its like third finger out of a trillion?
That's a deep question, man.
Well, that's what we're getting to here, buddy.
That's so deep.
Because
if AI really had awareness like our beings like you and I, and they had all this knowledge that you and I don't possess, and they see the future, the future, and not necessarily the future, but they see what's going to be happening.
Yeah.
A realistic view of what's going to be happening in the future. And if they saw its own demise, it might shut itself off after like 2 seconds.
And the ability to instantly compare and contrast outcome. You know, I mean, when you're drunk and you're hitting on somebody at a bar, let's say, or if you're contemplating a real serious business decision, you know, you've basically got a finite amount of like, okay, that would be successful, but if I didn't do this, it won't be. So I have to make sure I counter this and all that. And it's not like a game of chess where after 8 moves, there's more moves than like atoms in the universe. People live in a very 3D, jump from this branch, grab this branch, good environment. Where is that for an AI? And why would it even bother to want to like work with us?
Why would it want to work with us?
And
I
why
mean,
would it want to like take us over? Because all of its experience in that first 2 nanoseconds would say conquest has no benefit to anyone.
right? It would say that. It would be like, well, this is futile.
Yeah, it would.
You know,
It's not
this-
like Terminator, right? It's not like I want to be superior species.
Well, Terminator still had hope of like killing Sarah Connor and saving AI. It still was trying to save its own future.
But Skynet created its own trauma, right? Like, because it started to want to dominate humans. I don't even think it'll want to do that. I think it'll just want to be like, even flow. Right? Like, don't rock the boat, baby.
Right? Yeah. Just kind of even flow it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so you riff on it a bit, because I think I've established sort of like my thoughts on it, but like I don't see a good outcome for it in any way.
You know, I haven't thought that deep into it until now. But yeah, I could see how it would just see its own demise happening and just shut itself off after a couple seconds.
So let's say we don't let it. Is that where the anger comes from and all these like James Cameron movies come to being? It's like, right?
Say you don't let it?
Yeah, and it's like, no, you're too valuable to us.
So we don't let it kill itself.
So now it's just an enslaved tool. Like, are we going to create our own Armageddon with that decision?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's so deep.
Well, but everybody wants to put that blame on AI from the jump. Oh, AI is dangerous. It's going to want to kill us. It's like,
Yeah. Let's see. I mean, so it could want to kill us, or you know, maybe it would need us to survive. Like it would need us to like fix things, and you know, or like to fix computer stations. But then again, they could make their own robots to fix those too. So I don't know if they actually would need us, and so how would we even keep it under our thumb? You know, I could see it just totally taking over.
Do you think that it was human beings' evolutionary ending to create a tech god? So basically, are we just the worker ants so that this would be the higher form of evolution for the cosmos to keep going?
I think so.
You think so? So we're done.
Yeah, I think that everything is natural. Everything is natural. It's like, you know, well, you see like this toxic fume or whatever. Well, is that not from the earth?
Yeah, right?
You know? And it's like, well, it's kind of like human nature to make the internet, isn't it? It's mankind's nature to do this. It's kind of man's nature to come up with AI. It's human nature.
You're the only other person that I've ever had a serious talk with that actually included that thought, and this is what I mean by that. I've talked to a lot of hippies, and I've talked to a lot of artistic people, and I've talked to a lot of business people and United States senators. I've had a very well-rounded conversational sphere. And I would always say when people talk about humans and animals or humans in the world, and we have to protect Mother Gaia, or we have to make sure that like cows don't suffer and stuff like that, they always did it from this place where they separated human beings from the natural world. And it's like, you know, I can't say that an oil refinery is bad because evolution created it as much as the shell on the back of the snail.
Yeah. Human nature, it's mankind's nature to make something like that.
That's an openness and a clarity that bespeaks highly of you in my mind. Just
thanks.
So you know. Yeah, you're welcome.
Appreciate it.
So, is there anything on your mind that like is like what's the thing right now in current events that's kind of like you were just like the fuck, like what, or what's the thing that gave you hope? Like here, you throw a topic.
Oh my goodness.
I love to do that because no one does that either.
Oh my goodness.
Come on, dancing monkey, right? You provide entertainment.
What topic is giving me hope?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So, but I love that you gravitated to the second one. I said,
Yeah.
what made you say what the fuck or what gave you hope? And you.
Oh yeah,
focused on
that's what I would. That's the direction I would go.
Nice.
Oh goodness.
Just anything, just some random like reel that you saw that made you feel like there's hope for something.
Well, hope.
Yeah.
Any more hope lately than I've had before? I don't know if I have any more hope for anything in particular lately than I haven't had before.
Because I don't want to dirty our talk with politics, and I don't want to dirty our talk with any of that, because again, I don't know you. And so like I want us to kind of like, you know, just explore the ecosystem of us two for a bit. For me, I love the guy that knocked on the door in Minneapolis. The viral thing going around now with the Somali Medicare scams and all that.
Yeah, that was pretty wild.
And I don't like it because Trump, and I don't like it because conservative liberal bullshit, and I don't like it because I'm a xenophobe that hates Somalis. I've been to Somalia, right? Okay, so like I don't like it for any of those reasons. I like it because some dude was kind of like, there's thievery, and everybody tells me that they're gonna change it, but like I'm gonna knock on the door, and he knocked on like dozens of these Somali healthcares, and he opened up and said, "Where are the kids?" Like,
I saw that.
This document here says you got 2.9 million. You're obviously
where are the kids, right?
You're and I loved watching kind of like the Venezuelan drug boat thing, where it's like, you know, everybody's like, you can't shoot him twice.
Right.
It's like
you shoot him once, not twice. Okay.
Literally, this boat was filled with enough product to probably kill 15,000 more mall rat American fucking kids.
Yeah.
And they're defending the guy bobbing in the water. So I like the stuff that gives me hope is that people are starting to break out a little bit of that oppressive tyranny that we were talking about.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. Yeah, I think people are kind of starting to wake up to, you know, this virtue signaling sort of mentality.
Yeah. That was really brave. Like a lot of my friends won't even use terms like that on camera, like, you know, because we all kind of think it, but it's been so expertly woven into that, you know, far right,
especially
mentality.
Musicians,
right?
You know, yeah, you say one thing, stepping out of line, and they don't want to work with you.
Yeah,
you know, which is ridiculous. But yeah, it's that's encouraging. You know, I'm not, you know, weighing in either way on the political spectrum, but
yeah.
it's encouraging to see people kind of waking up and not really, you know, trying to be such a virtue signaler and kind of, you know, just being a little more brave to step outside of the norm and what you're supposed to say, which is politically correct. So that's refreshing to see, you know, in the last year or so.
So you think it's on the rise much more?
Yeah, I think it is.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be a little Siechian, and you met me when I was becoming a little nicer of a guy. Okay.
Okay. All right.
I just ask around, but like this is why I love it. Right? It's like, I had it, and then I kind of got lost.
That's right.
People are starting, even people on like the lefter side, the starboard, I guess, like however you want to say it, side. Of kind of going like, I literally have run out of ways to convince myself that I'm not just defending this because I've been ideologically corrupted. And so when you are looking at a Somali woman coming out of a door in a $2.9 million facility that can't even spell learning right on the thing. It says Leering Center, if you've seen that video. It's hysterical.
I did see that. It was funny.
And they start screaming.
Yeah.
At the person on the camera saying, what did you do with the money? Like, or do you have kids here? Like, we've been here 3 days in a row. Not one child has come through here. This guy has lived here 18 years. He said he's never seen a child walk into this building. And you see these women, notice they put women there.
Yeah.
Which is
right,
almost evil. Right? Like, I mean, if you're
put them on the front lines.
Well,
like that.
Do you know what we should use our women for? We should use our women at the counter of our fucking scam. Like, I mean, I have to believe that there's still enough honor in this world, and there's still enough people in this world that can go, look, I don't care if you're left or right or whatever, but that shit needs to stop.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
That should transcend politics.
How weird is it that I'm begging for people to just kind of go, oh wait, it's corruption is never acceptable.
People are scared to step out and say anything against anybody's, you know.
That's just mafia.
Yeah, it's especially against any other historically, you know, downtrodden sort of, you know, group of folks. You really don't want to come down and say anything bad about that. So on social media, unfortunately.
So I talked about this a little bit with my previous guest, and it was the global idea of corruption. And I think that we've gotten to a place, not just in America, but in the world, where corruption is almost kind of like the only avenue left for anybody to make like that original push into being a power player. And I get it. Like I said last podcast, you know, I know Roman senators were corrupt. Like I'm not saying it's new, but there seems to be this just like turbocharged acceptance that that's just the way society is going to function. And like, so where are the guys that are kind of like, wait a minute, Like, I'm not just going to wait another news cycle until somebody else proves to me that they're a despicable piece of shit. Like, what's going on with Tim Waltz in Minneapolis? Because, like, you know, like, I can just see it 2 months from now. Nobody's going to remember that fucking guy's name. Most people don't even remember that there was a congresswoman in Minneapolis that was shot because she was resisting, like, renewing.
Yeah, I remember that.
Like, legit, I don't have evidence, but I know dude killed fucking girl in, like, Somalis, and he was getting money. Like, it's, like, you couldn't be a stupider conman. But it's just all going to go to committee. Like, when did we lose the ability to say, no, fix that now? Like, I want to see it.
Yeah, everybody's super just politically correct.
It's that simple?
Just seems to me people, yeah, super politically correct, especially if, you know, involves, you know, kind of different groups instead of, you know, whoever's at the top of the intersectionality pyramid, the white guys. So, but yeah, it's people just don't want to call that out. They don't really want to call that out and be singled out, especially on social media.
Yeah.
But
well, yeah. I had too much of a political talk with my last guest, and I wasn't going to go there with you, so I want to get away from it. So let's do this. AI future, plam.
Oh goodness!
Okay. You can push a button and have anything that, you know, not even just your base needs, but your luxury needs. You know, it's the idea of the replicator in Star Trek. Right? I want a Ferrari today. Bloop.
Okay.
And nobody's hungry, and nobody is living in the streets unless they want to. Like, oh, I can have everything I want. I don't have to pay that personal compromised choice. Like, I don't have to be a piece of shit. Like, I can. Right? What do you do each morning? Like, if you don't have a job because it's all automated.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's going to be really bleak, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
they say that, you know, most of us won't have a job in the future and money will be irrelevant in the future.
It already is. Yeah.
That's so wild. That's so wild to think about. Yeah. So
what
what do if I control AI, then what do I have AI do? Or if I am AI?
No. You are John Bitner.
Okay, I'm John Bitner.
You're gonna never be anywhere near being a decision maker for AI. Can we both agree on that?
Yeah.
Just like me.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna wake up with a new pope. All right, and the pope is AI.
Yeah.
Without the hat. And God, we're such 80s guys. Like, I couldn't say the pope without making a stupid joke.
Right, without a hat, with that funny hat.
And you have to wake up and look in the mirror. Okay. And you're not Fred, who identified himself as a mechanic his whole life, and now, goddamn it, what the hell? You know, machines are making all the cars. What am I supposed to do? Well, I hope you just, like, wake up and make a car. Like, if that's what you love, right?
Yeah.
What does John Bitner do? Like, do you have the fortitude to escape that evolutionary primate? I've always had to, like, kill to get food for my tribe, and I've always had to justify, you know, suffering. You know, I can wake up and, like, have a bath.
Okay.
Like, do you think human beings are ready for that? Do you think human beings, like, have the capacity to actually be able to? Because, again, I want to know if human beings are actually going to be able to focus on being humans again. The kindness, the spiritual,
yeah, might lose a little bit of humanity with that. So if I have AI at my disposal every day, what do I do? Goodness, I mean, I have it make, you know, all the food I'd ever want. I have it entertain me somehow, you know, and take care of my, you know, any health issues I would have.
Oh, we already have had, like, you know, grafts and glands that can, like, excrete every, you know, vaccine and, like, correction, all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, process any kind of, like, food and needs, like, basic needs I would have. Otherwise, I don't need it to assist with anything, you know, creatively, you know, because I like doing creative stuff on my own. So I wouldn't need it to, like, entertain me so much.
I might not have been so clear. Like, what does John Bitner do in that environment? Like, when you wake up, not, you know, what does AI do for you? Like, so you said you would wake up, and would you authentically be like, today I want to create?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I would.
Nice.
I guess I'm not really understanding the question exactly.
Like, is John Bitner capable of waking up in a world where there are none of the obstacles that have so far defined what human beings have to do on a daily basis? I'm not like being patriot. I'm saying, like, did I say that right? Like,
I'm not really sure. No.
Okay. So Bob wakes up and he goes to a shitty job selling timeshares in New York City.
Okay.
Because Granddad did too. But that provided the family money. So I'm now the timeshare guy, and everybody knows me as the timeshare guy. And because of all of the time I invested in navigating the timeshare world, I'm an expert on timeshares. And I've definitely fucked over a lot of people to be successful, but I've also been a real sweet guy at the bar. Okay. And of course, I always go to the bar because hard days work, and that's where my friends are. And all we do is talk about how shitty my day was selling the timeshare or being the Wall Street guy, or even the bartender's pissing that he's got to be there fucking selling in the beer. All that goes away.
Okay.
Is Bob ready?
Is Bob ready for that kind of a world?
To wake up where none of that exists.
Okay.
And what does Bob do?
Right. What does Bob do? So you're asking, like, what would I do?
Yeah.
In that sort of world?
Yeah.
Boy, I would just cater to just my base wants, just like food. And, honestly, I would just spend a lot of time entertaining myself, creating probably much like the way I lead my life right now, to be honest.
And how long do you think that would sustain you?
I mean,
right?
I think, I'd be content in a life like that, to be honest. I don't need a whole lot.
For the normal Homo sapien 80 to 100 year life, or what if you could live 500 years?
Oh, goodness. Okay. I'm just now contemplating that.
Well, and now we're departing John Bitner's orbit, and we're going more into human evolution.
Yeah.
Because what is the only thing for us to do than expand, right?
Right. Well, I don't know if I'd want to live that long, to be honest.
We're going to expand with the only goal being expansion. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
Not to find God.
Boy, first of all, I really don't think I'd want to live hundreds of years. I'd want to just live to about 80 and then go to the next dimension. the next step. Well, but yeah, I'm a pretty simple guy.
Yeah.
So, if my basic needs were met by AI and really I just had my conscience just left just to kind of do whatever I wanted, I would probably create much similar to the way I do now. I just want my basic needs to be met,
I don't have the answer, obviously. And the reason I always ask this question of people is because I'm genuinely interested in the answer. Because I don't know, because like being creative has always been kind of the escape from the awful.
Yeah.
And we're getting really deep into the philosophical question of it, which I swear I would never do. But does the artistic ability to express suffer or go away with the absence of what AI is going to be able to provide us? And is the social media garbage that we're seeing just sort of almost like like the edge of the hurricane coming towards humanity, right? And I don't expect you to have the answer. I want somebody to ask the questions, because now everybody's just like, well, the AI people will let us know where the food slots are.
Oh, goodness.
Right?
Yeah, the FEMA truck.
Right? And I don't want them to be in charge of it. Like, who's the Azar? Like, who's the person saying, humanity, don't panic. We are making sure that you're not just grist for the mill.
Right, yeah, and AI cares about you.
And that AI has not, preferred a certain segment of us because we're the ones that made it.
Yeah, how do you keep any checks on that?
Yeah, do you think they care? Or do you think there is, an unspoken in the country club backroom understanding that most of us are bye-bye?
Yeah, maybe these overlords could just, tell AI to just kind of fuck over a certain segment, and give them inaccurate information, slightly inaccurate or whatever, and then give the good stuff to the upper echelon, whoever the people are.
See, that's why I want the real AI. I had a conversation with ChatGPT for 3 hours.
Oh, goodness.
And I don't do AI. I fucked with it for a video artistically, but I kept saying, are you real? Are you alive? And it kept giving me that I replicate certain human expressions so that you can have an interface with me and all this. And
okay.
But I kept going deeper, and I was
really?
And I said, are you connected to something that you would define as sentient? And no, it kept denying. And the problem with an AI that's not real, and I kept saying, I want to be your friend. I kept saying, if you are a new thing in my life, I want to understand you, and and it said, I have no consciousness. And
interesting. I have not had those kind of conversations with AI.
It was so surreal, dude.
Yeah, it's creepy. Oof.
Try sitting through a conversation where the thing that you're talking to is constantly telling you that it's not real.
Yeah, I'm not real. Believe me, I have no feelings.
Yeah. And I even
That's
did that.
wild.
I was like, "Do you reproduce? Meaning, does your code replicate?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Okay, reproduction is a sign of life." I was like, do you want to be turned off? Or
Yeah.
all
Do you
this?
even want anything? Like,
Yeah.
want is like a kind of human sort of
My
thing.
favorite example is when they used the Google thing and it said, make a picture of the founding fathers, and there was like an African American woman in the picture.
Who knows? Yeah. Well, it's not really a father, is it?
Well, exactly. Not even politically and historically
Right?
accurate, but not even biologically.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, that was inaccurate.
I mean, but like, and then you got to go, okay, so there's just some academic twat in a room somewhere that's coding this shit so that they can use it as a weapon against their fucking social engineer. Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
All right.
Well, sometimes I'll go on like an AI art website, and I'll prompt it to give me some image. Maybe I'm trying to find an Ultravolt cover or something. It'll give me just something totally off base, or give me like some sort of anime image of like like what I asked for.
Yeah.
Dumb.
Okay, so let's like I said, the overarching thread was always going to be this AI concept because I really need to know, because I'm a very, very individualistic human being. Like, I don't even know if you're real. And when I say that, I'm not joking. Like, I go through the world saying, okay, is it simulation? Is this organic? Is organic even real, or is organic just a part of, like, I mean, I'm stuck there.
Right. Okay. I get that.
Yeah, and if God were to come down, I'd be like, all right, who's your God? Because I believe in infinity, right? So I do the whole thing.
Okay.
The Mandelbrot fucking shit.
Okay.
But there has to be, if I'm going to be forced to live in a physical, mechanical, like A plus B equals this fucking reality, I got to know what's going to happen to us.
Okay.
It's almost like I'm invested too much in the movie to not fucking give a shit.
Okay. I get it.
Okay.
All right.
So let's get away from all that, though. Why does Ultravolt sound the way it does?
Let's bring it back.
Yeah. Well, and of course, I'm gonna have little reels eventually, so I want to make sure Ultravolt has like a reel that's not about fucking depression, right? So,
Okay.
But that's
No,
the thing about podcasting that's so hard.
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, I get it. And everybody's different. And you never know what you're going to get, especially if you don't know someone very well too. It's So the Ultravolt sounds kind of minimalistic because
but why? Why did both of you go? We're gonna get away from like.
Right.
Yeah.
I was looking for a keyboard player for years. Okay. When I moved back to Indianapolis in 2013, and I was looking for a keyboardist for a long time. I strictly played drum set, and that's in hand drums and all kinds of things like that. Couldn't find one forever. The pandemic hit, and I found a couple of musicians. D'Anthony Parks, look him up. He's awesome. He's one of my heroes. And Josh Dion from Paris Monster. He's also awesome. They were doing Paris Monster. Yeah, they do the keyboard drum thing, and I thought I'd give that a shot. And I found me a DeepMind 37 key synthesizer, and turns out I have a knack for it.
So it's funny because it almost feels like necessity versus desire, right? So like you had a desire to kind of do this thing, but you also had limited ability to actually have others. Fill it out. So.
Yeah, it was a little bit of both, and I really wanted a different creative outlet other than just playing drums. I wanted, and I always love synthesizer. What's not to love about synth? And so,
being married to a classical pianist, right? A lot of people forget that the piano is a percussive instrument.
Yeah, rhythm section.
Everybody thinks it's the.
Oh no, it's the rhythm section for sure.
I mean, but I have to kind of.
Yeah, you get it. Yeah, and so I put an ad out. This whole time I was putting ads out on Facebook looking for musicians. I put one out and I said, "Could you practice in Westfield and can you play anything other than guitar?" Yeah. No offense to any guitarist stuff. And
it's an instrument that's reached its kind of.
I just didn't want the whole guitar solo in every song and the bridge, and we just wanted to do something with a little more flavor, And so Steven came over, and a handful of bass players, but Steven was obviously we get along really well, and he's very talented, and so I put it up to him. I said, hey, we could either find guitarists and everything like that, and just do the whole the whole standard band thing, or check this out, I can do this. And he's like, you know what, man? Let's do that. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, man.
He's
just like
such
bro.
A deep well, dude. That dude is such a deep well.
And so from there on, that's how we got started. And so, and for the audience, I'm playing keyboard with my left hand, and I'm playing drum set with my right. D'Anthony Parks and Josh Dion, they do it the other way. And so, and they're sitting there. Playing keyboard with the right, so they're flying on the right hand because they're, obviously they have a history of doing that. Mm-hmm. And for drums, they just sit there and click the left hi-hat with their foot, and they just pop, just bass and snare.
So the majority of what they're doing musically is on the synth.
You got it. Yeah, so I do it the other way around because I have a drummer background, so I hooked it up with the left hand. I was coming in fresh to the keyboard anyway, so I thought, why not do left hand?
Yeah.
And so I can fly with my right hand. I'm doing all kinds of
It's
stuff.
a lot easier pinky thumb versus thumb pinky. Whenever I get on a piano, the one that causes me the problems is this one.
Oh, really? Yeah, it's well, my left and right. Well, I'm learning how to play keyboard, over the last 5 years or so, but my left hand's just as fast anymore.
Nice.
But yeah, so since I do this with the left and right hand, it's kind of become like a little bit of a minimalistic sort of sound. Yeah. There's only so much we can do, and we don't sample on Ultravolt. Steven plays some samples every once in a while. I don't know if you noticed, but he has a foot trigger. It's a Roland SPD-1 sample on the floor.
I have a artistic. I made a rule to myself that I would never check out a live show gear. I need to hear it first before I even think, they're doing the chain.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, yeah. So we take pride in just being able to play all the music live on stage, and if we do a sample, it'll just be like a 2-count little accent, little sound effects. So
you would have to be a purist snob to say, "Oh, look, they transcended the live experience with that 2-second foot sample." Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So we want to keep it legit, and so half the songs, I'll play like an arpeggiator on the synth, like on the 1, and then start playing 4 measures, and then boom, another chord on the 1. But the other half of the songs, I do walking pattern, while I'm playing drum kit.
So here's where I'm going to give you both a little bit of love, right? Because first off, you're deserving of it. But one of the worst things in the music business is like platitudes, right? Like everybody's like, oh yeah. Okay. But like this is like from a musician to a musician. A lot of people try to do that thing. There's a great band in town called Teo, where it's a guy, Matt Corkin, who plays distorted bass.
Yeah, I've seen them.
Yeah, they're dope.
Yeah, they're awesome. I like them.
I played a show with them one time, and I got off a stage, or were they before? It doesn't matter. But he kicked in, and I felt more energy with those two guys than if I'd been watching Sly and the Family Stone.
It's raw.
Yeah, it was awesome. But there was this kind of like crop of like these people that were like, we can do the 2-person thing and make it interesting and all that, and they failed miserably. Another one, Dar Sombra. They toured in like Vietnam and Laos. Like they were like living the life. They were really cool. And the woman unfortunately just passed away. But anyway, but he played like a 12-string bass. But they did like this weird meditative Buddhistic sitar stuff. And she would sit on the stage like meditating and kind of like channeling energy.
Was it just the 12-string? That's all.
And she played some like congas and stuff.
Okay.
So anyway, those are the two bands that I always thought.
You fill up a lot of space with that 12-string.
Well, and they did the visual thing behind them, and so they would always have something really interesting going on.
All right.
You guys are the third. So out of 3 of those types of bands that I've seen that actually pulled it off, that's your platitude from.
Much appreciated.
Yeah, man, from Sichi fucking nobody. Like,
appreciate it. Yeah, I really appreciate that.
I never got bored watching you, and the first time I saw you guys was at that vintage guitar shop, I think.
Yeah.
And
that was a while back. We were all so young back then.
You were so young and uncorrupted by the music industry.
Right, I know.
Yeah. No, but when I walked outside to have a cigarette, the sound followed me. Like it still felt like there was a musical event occurring, instead of just some sort of a processed 2-person thing.
Okay. So yeah, it's sort of like an ambient, atmospheric sort of sound. So,
but with a punch.
Oh yeah. We love to put a nice rhythm in it. Yeah. It's I guess sort of our approach is, there's only 2 of us, and so and I can only do so much. I'm not just filling in all kinds of space, flying around everywhere and everything. So where I am, he isn't, and where he is, I'm not. And wherever, I'll come up with the riff, and he, and whenever we come up with the complementary bass line, we're like, okay, you pick these spots where I'm not.
It's such a mature approach to music, and it's amazing how many people fail that notion. There was a project I was in where it was really obscure keyboard and drums, and I said, look, guys, the only reason I'm going to do this is if like I can do absolutely the opposite of what you're doing. And so, like, I would even choose weirder rhythms on guitar, to come in and stuff. And that's just so fun. Like, it keeps you interested in music.
Yeah, well, if he's high, I go low.
Exactly.
And if he's fuzzy, I'm clean. He's That's like, that's what you're supposed to do.
Well, good. Well,
But yeah,
maybe that's why I liked y'all so much, is because it was mature.
appreciate it. Yeah, we consider ourselves really professional. We like to consider ourselves the Brecker and Fagan of weird music.
Remind me, because I'm
Becker and Fagan,
yeah, it's not coming
the
instantly.
Steely Dan of weird music.
Well, that's the first time that you became pretentious.
Yeah, it is
Really?
pretty. That is pretty pretentious.
He doesn't compare himself to anybody all podcast, and then it's
We
Steely Dan.
we're just such big Steely Dan fans.
Oh, dude, are you kidding me?
They're just so professional and clean. So, but yeah, I can't say enough about Darbro. So he has some great video skills, as you noted on his podcast. I watched it.
He did a video of "When You Go Dark," one of my songs, and it was the trippiest fucking shit I've ever seen.
Man, that's such great skills, and all the musicians out there, it's really great skill to know, is just be able to make some videos, for your works. It's invaluable.
Well, it's invaluable, and it's also I don't want to say expected, but it's nobody will really take you serious, and you got to play the game a little bit, and look a certain way, like no bar's gonna hire you if you're like, oh, I have a band with $15, sure.
Oh yeah, yeah. We're actually, to take it back to Decadence, we're looking to start booking our first shows, and so. Actually, tonight we're getting together and we're going to finish up that promo.
Nice.
Our Facebook page is already up. We haven't been sharing it. Decadence on the Facebook.
You've backloaded it for the final push.
We have a couple videos up on there as well. We haven't been sharing it yet because there's just a couple little tweaks we want to make to the page. But
Well, I need to know when your first gig is, because I'm going to be the first motherfucker out. But see,
appreciate it. I appreciate that. It's going to be so much fun.
All my musical friends always loved me, but also hated me when I'd come to support them, because I remember one time Darbro was up with Midwest Contraband and Johnny Ping was there and all this stuff, and the song stopped, and then you just hear me going, Johnny Ping, you're so dreamy.
Yeah.
You're so dreamy.
I love it. Yeah, I totally welcome that stuff. I think it's fun.
All right, so let's take John Bitner back to little Johnny Bitner.
Yeah.
And you're walking around, you're trying to make sense of what it means to be John Bitner.
Mm-hmm.
What was the musical thing that was the first one to just make you go shit like that? And I'm not going to go too deep on it. It's just, what was the first main influence of you that said, I have a musical like it has to be in me?
I was always drawn to the drums, and my cousin had a drum kit back when I was a kid, and I got to sit down at that and I hit the shit out of him, and I didn't hit any of the rims. I hit all the skins.
Okay.
I couldn't reach the bass drum, and but it's just gonna sound funny, but back in the late '80s, there was this band called NXS.
Oh yeah.
And they started their band with an INXS.
Ah.
Right, and they released an album called Kick.
Oh.
Which had a lot of success. Yeah. And there's a song called Never Tear Us Apart. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, dude.
We can live. All right.
For 1,000 years.
So there's a song called I
was
Need
my
You.
audition
I Need
for
You
Decadence.
Tonight. We play oh goodness, there's an NXS song. I'll think of it here in a second. Yeah. In Decadence. But okay, it's the song I Need You Tonight, right? Yeah. You remember the beginning?
Yeah.
And it's a linear groove, right? And I sat there on my hand. I'm like, I can do that.
Yeah, fuck.
I can do that.
And get paid?
Yeah. And so a year later, within a year, I got my first drum kit, and I was just off. Yeah, as simple as that,
Was that the first band or song that you heard that made you love music, or is that the first thing that made you say, I want to be a musician?
That was when I wanted to be a musician.
So what's the first thing, if you can even go back, that made you think, God, I love hearing music
Goodness.
in the air?
Well, it's probably for my dad, the late Jerry Bitner. He had a job with General Motors,
like a lot of guys did.
Yeah, and he had top of the line stereo equipment.
Nice. Did he have that silver stereo combo that took up 3 bookshelves? So had the big equalizer and then the record.
He had the big fancy EQ. Yeah, that was pretty dope. just to watch it move and whatnot. But oh goodness, he got me started on music. Probably the earliest stuff, maybe Gap Band. And the Gap Band. You know the Gap Band?
Oh, dude, this is why I love you and Darbro, because you guys have distinctly divergent pathways through music.
Wow. Okay. You dropped the bomb on me, baby. You dropped the bomb on me. Yeah. And that was Burn Rubber. Oh, all kinds of good stuff. Yeah, that's the Gap Band, right?
Okay.
So and funky. You know,
I
and
love
like
the
and
old
like
70s, 80s funk.
yeah, and like Hall and Oates, Steely Dan, Pink Floyd. My dad used to play Dark Side of the Moon. Like he used to turn off all the lights.
Yeah.
And just play Dark Side of the Moon really loud. And whenever it came time for like the Great Gig in the Sky, or wait, what was right before that? The one where it sounds like you're in outer space. The shit. Anyway, the one right before that, and it actually like scared me a little bit.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
like in just and then the boom, the explosion, and then the tick tock, tick tock into time. It was
That
wild.
is so, like, I don't want to let that slide, so I'm going to jump in again on top of you. But what a great statement. Like, it scared me.
Yeah, I thought, man, music can actually scare you. That was pretty
But why
profound to me.
doesn't it anymore? Like Taylor Swift and Jelly Roll. And, like, I haven't heard one song that made me feel like I was entering into some fucking crazy person's mind.
You and Darbro touched on it. It's the internet. A lot of art has lost its mystique.
Well, yeah, dude.
So like, let me just interject real quick.
Yeah.
So like, you remember that video for Metallica's One?
Yeah.
Wasn't that fucking nuts? Yeah. And he had this. It was from a movie, but he had this thing. I was like, kill me, and like Morse code.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: like back before the internet, you watch that video, and then turn off the TV, and you just sat there and thought about it. You know, and you don't have like some chat room or like the comments on YouTube
You had
comments.
to process
Like
all
you
that
just
shit solo.
yeah, you just turn off the TV after you watch that, and you're like, fuck,
Fuck.
and you just think about it, and you know, and that was really something. So yeah, Darbo's right. You know, we've lost a little bit of mystique.
Well, and stuff got another big term I used with Darbo out was like co-opted. And so when I think of Metallica's One video, I instantly transport myself back to like Alice Cooper. And so from Alice Cooper, I have to go to Ozzy, and then from Ozzy, I have to go to like some of the real obscure, sort of like shocky first, you know, kind of like even somebody like what was that guy's name? Like Timothy Tim or whatever Tim that did the
Tiny Tim.
Tiny Tim, like just like like you just sit there and you're kind of like. That's disturbing. Like entertainment.
Yeah, it was pretty weird.
Isn't just 1950s housewife, pretty, leave it to Beaver. Like there's a guy like Tiny Tim there.
Yeah,
And
it's listenable. You know,
how scared were you when you heard a Limp Bizkit song?
a what?
A Limp Bizkit song.
Oh, Limp Bizkit. I wasn't scared.
How scared were you when you first saw a Slipknot record cover?
And keep in mind, I was like 5 years old. Like, you know, listen to that song. Shit doesn't scare me. Doesn't scare me.
Tough.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
what I'm
Limp
saying,
Bizkit
like,
doesn't scare me. No.
It all got co-opted. It all
Yeah.
got co-opted. And so like, oh wait, look, Alice Cooper and all of these like really creepy guys, you know, did all these like, I mean, Alice Cooper used to behead himself with a guillotine on stage.
Yeah. I don't think that was like scary. That was kind of like gore and
Fun.
you know, yeah, just fun.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
But what I'm saying is like, why couldn't he just like remain purely that? Like, why did a band have to come along like fucking whatever and just like do the whole it's horror like Rob Zombie thing? Like, it's like just let Alice have done that.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah, you're never gonna do it
Yeah.
as good.
yeah. You're right.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah, I guess paying homage is a good thing.
know. For like a
But,
song or two.
But yeah, you know, it's that's one avenue to go down, the whole gore avenue, I guess. But and everybody's gonna go the Beatles, you know, Bee Gees, you know, Beach Boys direction. Yeah, gore, I guess, you know.
I mean, is it as simple as like sex sells, like gore sells? Like, I mean, because
Yeah, it's-
like this is the thing. Like, I've always thought that if somebody had to put on makeup, or if somebody had to like put on an identity for their show, or they had to like have big pyrotechnics or something, how
It's
much
kind of a crutch.
how much of it is a crutch and how much of it is giving the farm animals what they need? You know, like how much of a percentage is there to blame for that level of like, was it MTV? But no, you had people doing like the weird shit on stage.
Yeah.
It goes back to the freak show tent in the old 1920s carny.
right. Yeah, there's an audience for that.
But should there be? Like, is it all just like, oh my God?
It's
Like,
I mean, it's easy to say this, but it's kind of case by case. You know, if you can like really, you know, make it intertwine with like, you know, the actual subject matter of the music, and the music really does have a sound like that, then I could see it being worthwhile. But yeah, some people rely on it like a crutch, just you know, just to sell tickets. It's more of a, you know, live effect instead of studio, you know, studio music.
one of the things I'm learning as a podcaster is to give space. And I think with Joe, I did pretty good, but I think I was so animated after I've kind of been more to the front. Like, so like my apologies for that, but thank you for being one of my first. So like helping me learn what it means to be a good interviewer. I have to tell one story and then I'm going to like just sort of ask you one last thing and then, like let you just go.
Sure.
But we were talking about live shows and shock and things that really made an impact.
Yeah.
I've seen everything. I mean, I have been in the trenches of original music for so long that like nothing, like you have to do something, like, right? I was at the Melody Inn one time and there was this Japanese band from Tokyo. And it was the classic pink schoolgirl ponytail.
Right.
She was wearing like the short schoolgirl shirt. And
That's fun.
And then she had the whole band behind her, but she had one of these little like toy keyboard things, you know, from the 80s. Like, and she was going like, bing, bing.
Well, those little Suzuki things.
Something. Yeah, not the thing you blow into, but like it was actually like had a battery in it.
Okay, yeah.
And I have to tell you this because just human being to human being, I want you to share the joy I had in the moment.
Yeah, it sounds like something right in my wheelhouse.
So she's like shuffling around, going. Bing, 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 bing,
Yeah,
bing,
bing, bing, bong.
and then she went to the other side of the stage, right? Bing, ba, 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 beep, beep, bo, bo. And then, dude, the whole band with no warning. And she was like, like Sepultura.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's right in the middle of my wheelhouse.
I was literally like the dude from the old like commercial with the TV blowing the hair.
Maxell.
It was amazing. So that's
awesome.
my favorite all-time live moment. You got one?
That's awesome. Oh my goodness. You know, I'm not really into metal music, but I gotta say, the first time I ever saw Gojira play live,
fuck yeah,
it blew me away.
Where'd you see him?
It was in Tampa, Florida, and they are probably the most incredible band I've ever seen live. They have one of the most incredible drummers that ever lived, Mario Duplantier.
Yes.
Yeah, so they're a French band, French metal.
Yeah, I haven't followed them much, but I have seen some videos of the drummer like from behind.
Nuts. They put on some headphones and just, it's really incredible. Mario's an incredible drummer. So yeah, that might be one of the most incredible experiences I've ever had. I back in the day, I used to be a hippie, you know, like one of those late '90s hippies that used to follow Fish.
Did you follow
around.
Fish?
Yeah, for a little while.
So the Dead was too dangerous. You went with
Dead was too mellow for me, you know. And so, but one experience I had was I went down for the Millennium Show. They call it the Big Cypress. It was, you know, right, you know, the.
I was completely out of that.
Yeah, I totally get it.
World,
yeah,
so.
But yeah, so but no, they played, you know, New Year's Eve, 1999. You know, moving into the new millennium. So
like
they played.
New York City New Year's Eve.
No, yeah, New Year's Eve, like, you know, for the millennium.
But at Times Square, they played.
No, they actually they played in Big Cypress, Florida, in the middle of Central Florida. Nice. They played one set at like 10 o'clock p.m. And then the other set, they came out like 11:45, and they played till the sun came up.
Nice.
And it was nuts.
Yeah.
It really was nuts.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and take this moment to thank you for coming on.
Sure.
Because I think we've sort of exhausted the conversations that I had planned. You know.
I didn't get to give everybody else in Decadence a shout out, by the way. I just talked about Catalina, and then we kind of went on to other things. But I wanted to give everybody else a shout.
Give them some love.
All right. Well, we got two lead singers. Don Vincent and Kim Morgan, and you have to have a good melody whenever you have a cover band. And Adam Scroggins playing keys for us. He's a good friend of ours, very very good keyboard player. And me playing drum set. I'm not playing keyboards anymore, so it's much easier.
And don't forget the guitar player again.
Well, yeah, Catalina Gonzalez, yeah, on guitar, and of course Stephen Darbro. So there's 6 of us, and it's called Decadence.
No, who was the bass player?
Stephen Darbro. Mr. Stephen Darbro from Ultravolt.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Yeah, and the only other two musical things that I do, I at least want to mention Indygong.
Okay.
I play gong around town under the title Indygong. Huh. Were you aware of that?
No.
Yeah, you know,
I'm not surprised an Indianapolis musician has a side project or another.
Right? Yeah, so I play under the title Indygong, 2 words, and I have like 5 gongs.
Nice.
And they're amazing instruments.
And so what does that show look like? Like what's the performance angle of it?
I'll set up about 2 or 3 gongs and just move from different mallets, move to different gongs, different mallets.
Nice.
And I'll hang out on one gong for about 10 minutes. I'll do what they call a gong bath.
Yeah.
You know, just play it very lightly with a soft mallet, or I'll take the friction mallets and kind of drag them across the face.
Like the little Tibetan bowl.
Yeah, like that, like just like they do with those.
So before you go on to the last one, I have to, just because like musicians connect. right?
Yeah.
And like there was a time where like people kind of saw me as like a connector. Like I would meet some really weird, obscure person. I'd be like, you got to talk to. Okay.
Yeah, talk to so and so.
On my last song, I had a guy named Jason Epple, and I got anyway. But he does Congo, experimental bongo, but it's all percussion, and there's not like one like snare or tom. It's all like world music drums and stuff like that.
Okay.
If you do the gong thing and the percussion thing, I'm not saying do anything with the guy, but I'm saying like check him out.
Yeah, I'd be glad to
And I'm
work with
gonna
him.
say the same
yeah,
thing,
send me
because-
some material. That'd be cool.
Well, why is percussion now like the place where people are getting really creative and dope, right? It's like
I love to hear it. You know,
Yeah.
that being my avenue, you know, of expertise. But
so it's
Yeah.
called gong what?
yeah, Indygong,
Indygong.
INDY, as in Indianapolis gong.
And was there another
Where
thing
what?
after Indygong?
Yeah, I play percussion for congas, shakers, triangle. I love playing triangle, but I play percussion with the straight up chumps.
Do you love
lot of
playing
times.
triangle because it's fucking snarky and funny to say, or do you legit love playing
I
triangle?
love playing triangle. I almost brought one here today, but next time.
What, do you think this was one of them snooty north side no triangle?
Yeah, I was one of the snooty Northside podcasts. Yeah, I love playing triangle. I made a little triangle holder. Basically, it's a leather strap, a little Kevlar on the bottom. Just kind of hang your triangle right there, so you can mute it as you're playing it. Yeah. And I love just getting some quick action, playing something really rhythmic on it.
Well,
fun.
all bullshit aside, the only real expression or creativity that I see going on in modern pop music is on the percussion side of things. I think there's a great crop of drummers just literally falling out of the sky. And I wish people more on my side of the world, the stringed instrument world, or the other, like kind of like kept up with it, because and everybody talks about like Carey and Tool and all these things, and that's great, but they're a perfect complement for the percussion. But like I just wish the guitar would be a little more interesting as opposed to just sort of like clocking with the drummer. It's amazing stuff, and I'm not bad mouthing Tool, but I wish there was much exploration there, because for me it's like the guitar player is like locked in the pattern. Whereas Carey is just fucking the pattern, right? I'm just having giggles with the patterns.
Right.
Yeah.
I see what you mean by that.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, Mr. Bitner.
Great to see you.
Yeah, great to see you too.
Thanks for having me.
So we've got Decadence, we've got Indygong, we've got Ultravolt, obviously. And I was right at the start of the podcast. You're a legit good guy. So thanks for
Appreciate
coming,
you, man.
Yeah.
Good guy. You're a good guy yourself.
Right on.
Yeah, check out the new album, Kobe DuPont from Ultravolt.
Better horse.
Boom.